The confession, the rain had started again, soft, steady, tapping the windshield of Noah's dad's rusted-out pickup like a nervous metronome. Street lamps flickered behind the fogged windows. Somewhere behind them, the laughter and music of Prom still echoed in the distance. Liari sat beside him in silence, her fingers clenched tightly in her lap. Her dress shimmered unnaturally in the dim light-shifting colors, ever so slightly, as if responding to her mood. Her eyes, large and silver-green, darted up to his, then away again. "Noah," she finally said, her voice trembling with a cadence not quite human. "I need to tell you something. I'm pregnant." He blinked, then laughed. "She didn't." Wait, Noah said, leaning forward, trying to meet her eyes. "You're kidding, right? This is ... This is like a joke." Liari didn't move. A thin glow pulsed beneath the skin of her temples, something Noah had learned to recognize as anxiety. Her species didn't sweat, didn't shake. They glowed. "I wish it were," she said quietly. "But it's real. The child is developing fast, and it's yours." His stomach flipped. He pushed open the truck door for air, stepping into the drizzle. His tux jacket clung to his arms. "No, that's not possible. We just danced. That's it. That's all." Liari stepped out too, barefoot on the wet pavement. She looked heartbreakingly out of place, like a princess lost in a war zone. "For humans," she said softly, "a dance is just motion. For my people, it's a ritual. Contact during the Imari spiral. The way we moved together, it triggered something. Our genetics ... merged. I didn't know it could happen with a human. I didn't think it was possible." Noah rubbed his face. "You're saying I got you pregnant by dancing with you?" "Yes." He stared at her. "Liari, do you hear how insane that sounds?" "I do." Her voice cracked. "But it's happening." Behind them, headlights flared bright, high beams slicing through the mist. A black SUV slowed at the edge of the lot. Noah noticed Liari tense up instantly. "They found us," she whispered. "Noah, we need to go." He turned back to her. Who are they?" "Not your government," she said, backing toward the truck. "Mine." 2 weeks earlier, Noah never would have imagined this night ending like this. When she first arrived at his school, Liari had been labeled the exchange student from Europa. Nobody bought that explanation, of course. She looked close enough to human, but everything about her felt off. Her posture, her gaze, the way she flinched at loud noises and stared at clouds like they were foreign language. The truth, she was alien royalty in exile. Noah only found out after he caught her mid-shift behind the gym, her skin momentarily flickering into an opalescent scale pattern. She begged him not to scream. He didn't, and somehow they became friends. When he jokingly asked her to prom, she tilted her head, smiled faintly, and said, "Yes." Now she was claiming to be pregnant with his child, and people beings were after them. They raced away from the parking lot, the black SUV peeling out behind them. Noah's truck was a beat-up mess, but it still roared to life. Gravel sprayed from the tires as they sped toward the backroads that cut through the woods north of town. "No weapons," Noah said, his hands tight on the wheel. "No weird alien tech in the glove box." "None I can use without harming you," Liari said grimly. Noah stole a glance at her. She looked pale. Her usual glowing energy was dim. "Are you okay?" "The pregnancy is ... progressing fast. I'm adapting poorly to Earth's gravity." Noah cursed under his breath. He didn't ask for this. He just thought she was lonely. He was trying to be nice. She didn't even understand sarcasm properly until last week. "Why didn't you tell me before?" he asked. "I didn't know," she said. "Not until tonight. When we danced, I felt the imprint. It confirmed in my body an ancient code. It was subtle, but irreversible." "What does that even mean?" "It means my people will come. Some to protect the child, others to destroy it." They ditched the truck in a secluded ravine and ran under the cover of trees. The rain soaked them instantly, and the SUV's lights vanished behind hills. But Noah didn't slow down until they reached the abandoned ranger tower deep in the forest. He slammed the heavy door behind them. Liari collapsed onto the floor, breathing hard. Her body shimmered faintly in the dark. Noah lit a single lantern, the room filled with dim orange light. "Tell me everything," he said. "All of it." Liari looked up at him. "My name isn't Liari, not fully. It's Liasa Velquarano. I'm heir to the quarry line of the Velari ascendancy. I refused a genetic bonding with the Delphas line, another powerful house. So they exiled me. I came to Earth to escape. She touched her stomach gently. This child is the first cross-species fusion in known history. That makes it dangerous. Some will want to study it. Some will fear it. Some will try to kill it. And me, you'll be seen as the catalyst, a wild variable. They will want you to. Narrator sat down across from her. You keep saying this like I have a choice. I'm just a kid. I'm not even good at math. You have a choice, Liari said. You always had a choice. You could leave now. Pretend this never happened. He stared at her. Can I? She looked down. No. The tower trembled suddenly, as if something heavy had landed on the roof. They froze. A mechanical hum vibrated through the floorboards. Then silence. Liari's glow pulsed rapidly. They're here. A strange whisper filled the air like static, and wind and voices layered together. Noah moved toward the window. Outside, hovering silently over the forest, was a sleek, dark, triangular ship. No lights, no sound, but it radiated power. He turned to Liari. What do we do? She reached for him. Her fingers were cold. We run. The DNA Keitha air outside the Ranger Tower was thick with static. The triangle-shaped alien craft hovered just above the treetop, silent, watching. Impossible. Noah didn't know what to expect. A blinding beam. A robotic voice demanding surrender. Explosions. Instead, the ship simply waited, unmoving, as if it knew they were inside, and was giving them a choice. Liari clutched his arm. They won't attack directly, not unless they're sure I'm here. But if we stay, they will confirm. Where the hell do we go then? Noah hissed, heart pounding. It's a forest. We're already in the middle of nowhere. Liari's eyes darted to the trapdoor below the floorboards. There's a service tunnel beneath this tower. It runs through the mountain. I found it once when I was hiding. Noah didn't argue. He helped her up, and together they yanked open the hatch. The air that rushed out was dry, cold, and smelled of rust and Moscow. He said. She dropped down first, and he followed, pulling the hatch shut just as a faint humming noise grew louder above them. The tunnel was tight and sloped downward. Old mining lights blinked faintly, revealing crumbling brick and dripping pipes. Liari leaned on Noah as they walked, her skin cooler than before, her glow duller. He kept glancing at her stomach. You said it's growing fast, he whispered. How fast? She hesitated. Hours, maybe days. My species doesn't just like yours. The genetic imprint is ... unstable. Mixed genes behave unpredictably, and this all happened because of a dance. She stopped and looked at him. You don't understand. The Imari spiral is sacred to my people. It aligns neural fields, stimulates genetic resonance, and initiates bonding. But only if the pairing is ... compatible. It wasn't supposed to work with a human, so I'm compatible, Noah said dryly. Great, that's me. Mr. Intergalactic Accident. Liari's expression softened. You weren't an accident, Noah. You were kind. You saw me. He looked away. I just didn't want you sitting alone. That's what made it real. After nearly an hour of winding through darkness, they reached an iron gate. Liari placed her palm on a faded biometric lock. Its spark then clicked open. On the other side was a forgotten maintenance station, dusty, full of broken machinery, but dry. They sealed the tunnel door behind them and slumped onto a bench. Noah, Liari said after a long silence, I need you to see something. She pulled a small metal disc from her satchel and pressed it to her temple. A projection shimmered in the Iran image of her people's DNA helix. Then, beside it, a second strand, human. Noah stared as the two spirals twisted together. A third strand began to emerge, a fusion of both. This shouldn't exist, she said, but it does, and it's stabilizing. Noah's brow furrowed. What does that mean? It means the child isn't just a hybrid. It's adapting, faster than anything we've ever recorded. Then the image changed, again showing an ancient symbol pulsing over the merged DNA. Noah sat up. What's that? It's called the Genesis mark, Liari whispered. It appears when a new sentient being is born with the potential to alter evolutionary paths, alter evolution across species, across worlds. Outside, a faint tremor shook the tunnel walls. They both jumped. Noah grabbed a rusted crowbar nearby. Relax, Liari said, sensing something that wasn't them. That was Earth-tech, an aircraft. A few moments later, the door to the station groaned. A voice called out, Noah Wallace, you in there? Noah froze. Who's asking? He shouted, Agent Sam Traver, Northridge Biodefense Division. We're here to help. Liari's glow pulsed rapidly. They're not who they say they are. How do you know? They're broadcasting on a forbidden wavelength. Only Velari Inquisitors use it. Noah swallowed hard. Then what do we do? Buy time. He turned toward the door. Okay, I'm coming out. He opened the door a crack and peeked out. 4 people stood in the shadows of their headlights wearing black suits and mirrored glasses. 2 perfect, 2 polished. One stepped forward. We're here for the girl. I figured, Noah said, gripping the crowbar behind his back. You're not in danger, son, the agent continued. But she's carrying something that doesn't belong here. We need to contain it. For safety. Noah laughed. Bitter. Contain. It's a baby, not a bioweapon. The man tilted his head. That depends entirely on what it becomes. Then his eyes glowed for a split-second violet and artificial dot. Noah slammed the door shut. They barricaded the entrance just as the first impact struck, shaking the whole room. Liari grabbed Noah's wrist and pulled him behind an old control panel. We have seconds, she said. There's only one way out. Where? She pointed to a hatch above a massive pipe that leads to an old research lab under the mountain. We can lose them in the maze. They scrambled inside just as the door exploded behind them. Darkness, tight spaces, metal echoing under their steps. As they moved deeper, Liari's glow brightened. Her breathing quickened. Noah, she whispered. I think it's happening. He turned, confused. What's happening? She doubled over, gasping. The imprints activating again. I can feel it spreading. Noah helped her down gently onto the floor. Her skin glowed in a shifting pattern of colors, soft violet to bright gold. Then, something even stranger happened. The veins on Noah's arm began to glow, too. He felt heat pulsing through him, and a voice not in words, but in images. A baby, floating in blue liquid, a nebula burning behind it. A war, then earth-shattered, broken, then rebuilt. He staggered back. What the hell was that? Liari opened her eyes slowly. The child is connecting to you. It's awakening. Moments later, the tunnel opened into a massive chamber, an underground lab, half flooded and dim. Ancient tech lined the walls, long abandoned by humans. Liari stepped forward, weak but determined. This was a Genesis lab. Earth's ancestors once collaborated with the Velari, long before history recorded it. Noah raised an eyebrow. You're telling me aliens and humans worked together before pyramids? Liari nodded. And then Earth was wiped clean. A failsafe. The Genesis code was buried. Until now, Noah muttered. Until us, Liari, moved to a console. It lit up at her touch. A small compartment opened, revealing a glowing crystalline key. This is the DNA key, she said. It responds only to a Genesis pair. It confirms our child's existence. As she placed it in Noah's hand, it glowed brightly. Symbols appeared in the air. Coordinates. Star systems. Gateways. A final symbol pulsed, then slowly etched itself into Noah's palm, burning but not painful. He cried out. It marked you, Liari whispered. Now they'll know. Everyone will. Suddenly, the air shimmered, a soft hum. Then a tall figure appeared, neither human nor Velari. Its body was partially cloaked in light. Its eyes were like twin galaxies. Noah Wallace, the being said, you have initiated the Genesis code. You are now under observation. Who are you? Noah asked, heart pounding. We are the Council of Horizon. We observe interstellar anomalies and protect sentient thresholds. Your union has exceeded predictive models. It may bring balance or collapse. Noah took a step forward. So what happens now? The being studied him. You will be hunted. You will be tested. But if you endure, you will change everything. It vanished. Liari whispered. We need allies. There's a place off-grid where the first hybrid theory was tested. It's called the Quiet Embassy. Where is it? Her eyes locked on his. Under your old museum. The one no one visits anymore. Noah blinked. The Historical Society. She nodded. It was never a museum. It's always been a cover. They made their way toward an emergency elevator, barely working. Liari slumped against the wall, her light flickering. Noah looked at her, terrified, furious, but also protective. You really think I'm ready for any of this? She looked up. You already are. As the elevator rumbled upward, Noah stared at the glowing mark on his palm. Something inside him whispered, this is only the beginning. The embassy. Liz, the elevator creaked as it rose, groaning like something ancient, trying to remember how to live. Noah stood tense with his back pressed to the metal wall, one hand still clutching the crowbar, the other glowing faintly where the alien sigil had burned into his palm. Liari leaned into the corner, her breath shallow, her glow flickering like a dying lantern. Her body was changing, he could see it now. Her skin had developed a faint opalescent sheen under the surface, and her pupils no longer contracted like they did yesterday. "You're getting worse," Noah said quietly. "I'm evolving," she replied, almost too softly to hear, or, failing to. The doors opened with a tired groan. Cold night air flooded the shaft, bringing in the distant sound of city traffic, wind, and something more, a leaner low hum, like a machine dreaming. They emerged in the alley behind the museum. It was a squat, brick building with boarded-up windows, and a crooked sign that read, Northridge Historical Society, closed for renovations. "Doesn't look like much," Noah muttered. Liari glanced up at the facade. "It isn't. That's the point." They entered through a side door. Liari opened with another press of her DNA key. Inside, everything was dust and shadows. Exhibits, mannequins in colonial garb, glass cases filled with replica tools, but beneath it all, there was something humming quietly, invisibly. Noah felt it in his bones. Liari led him to a display labeled Fossils of the Ridge Valley. She placed her hand on a fake boulder. It flickered and vanished, revealing a glowing handprint panel. She placed her palm on it. A click. Then, a rumble. The floor beneath them slid open, revealing a staircase that spiraled downward into darkness, lit by soft blue veins in the walls. "The quiet embassy," she whispered. The descent took them nearly 5 minutes. At the bottom was a circular chamber, pristine and glowing. Holographic murals covered the walls, humans shaking hands with beings of light, stars connected by luminous threads, galaxies revolving around a shared core. In the center stood a tall man in a lab coat, human, mid-50s, clean-shaven, bold, intense. His eyes sparkled with curiosity and exhaustion. "Noah Wallace," he said. "I'm Dr. Elias Keene, and I've been waiting for you." Noah raised a brow. "Yeah, join the club." Keene smiled faintly. "The mark on your palm, show me." Noah hesitated, then extended his hand. Keene examined it without touching. "Incredible. Fully formed. Stable. The child is anchoring already." "So, you know," Noah asked. "I helped write the theory." He looked at Liari, then back to Noah. "You two are standing on the edge of a new epoch, but it's a dangerous one." Noah helped Liari onto a couch as Keene circled them. "There were rumors," Keene said. "Legends. The first time a hybrid child was born centuries ago. Between a Valari and a primitive human, it triggered catastrophic consequences. A system-wide war. The child vanished. The records were scrubbed from both civilizations." Liari's eyes widened. "I've never heard this." "You weren't supposed to," Keene said. "Your people buried it. My ancestors did too." He turned to Noah. "But the Genesis code never died. It's embedded in forgotten architecture, in old myths, even in human DNA, waiting." Noah clenched his jaw. "So what are you saying? That our kid is going to start a war?" "No, I'm saying your child could end one, or all of them. That kind of power doesn't come without a price." As Keene activated a series of monitors, holograms filled the room. Velari warships approaching the outer edges of the solar system. Strange gravitational shifts near Saturn. Alien transmissions in languages never before deciphered. "They're already coming," Keene said. "Factions from Velari High Command, rogue scientists, hunters. Some believe this child will unify civilizations. Others believe it's an abomination." Noah looked at Liari, who now appeared distant, withdrawn. "What about you?" he asked. "Her. What do you believe?" She didn't answer right away. Keene turned to her. "Tell him." Liari lowered her head. "There's a reason I came to Earth. It wasn't just exile. I was being hunted. Before I met you." Noah's chest tightened. "What?" "My bloodline carries a rare genetic mutation. When merged with human DNA, it can create a new neurotype, something the Velari fear. They call it the breaker mind." Keene nodded. "A breaker is said to dismantle fixed pathways, rigid authority, linear time. It can destabilize empires simply by existing, and you're saying this baby might be that." "Yes," Liari said. "That's why I didn't want it at first." Noah stood up and backed away. "So I'm not the accident." I'm the fuse. Liari looked heartbroken. I never planned this, Noah, but I'm not sorry it happened. He paced. So what are you really asking me to do? Raise a living time bomb, or sacrifice it to save 2 galaxies? No, she said, rising shakily to her feet. I'm asking you to help me protect it long enough for it to choose its own fate. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. Sirens began to wail soft, pulsing tones. Keen checked a console. No, how did they find this place? The screen showed the museum above dark-cloaked figures emerging from shadows. One of them touched the wall, and it glowed in the same pattern as Noah's mark. They have a trace of your DNA, Keen said. They're using you to find her. Noah's heart raced. What do we do? There's a secondary route out, Keen said. But you need to decide right now. Do you want to keep running, or make a stand? Noah looked at Liari. Wasn't the same girl he took to prom. She was pale, glowing, trembling, but strong in a way that wasn't physical. He walked over to her and placed his hand on her stomach. I'm not running, he said. Not without a plan. Keen nodded. There is one. He activated a platform in the middle of the room. A small device emerged, sleek, crystalline. This is an echo drive, he explained. It records your DNA pattern, thoughts, and energy signature. A failsafe. If anything happens to you, your essence will remain. It can guide your child, teach them who you were. Noah stared at it. What about Liari? She can imprint too. But her energy's fading. She needs stabilization, which only exists off-world. Liari winced. If I leave Earth now, the child won't survive the transition. If I stay, I might not survive the birth. Either way, Keen said, the countdown has started. As the invaders closed in, Keen led them to a hidden corridor lined with ancient symbols. This tunnel leads to an old launch corridor, he said. There's a transport pod inside, low range, but fast. Noah helped Liari through, her strength fading. At the end of the tunnel was a pod shaped like a cocoon, with room for 2. Noah helped Liari into the reclining seat. Where does it go? Noah asked. Keen handed him a card. Coordinates to an outpost near the moons of Jupiter. There's a gate there. If it activates, you'll have options. Noah glanced at Lee. You trust this? She nodded weakly. I trust you. As the pod sealed, Keen saluted them. If you survive this, remember, your child isn't the end. It's the beginning. Outside, as the museum exploded into flames and figures emerged from black smoke, the pod burst through the hidden rooftop launch chamber, streaking across the night sky like a falling star in reverse. From a hilltop far below, a young girl watching the stars pointed up and whispered, "Make a wish." Noah's voice echoed in Liari's mind as she faded into a half-conscious dream. I didn't ask for any of this, but I'm not letting you do it alone. The genetic rift. The stars looked closer from here. Noah leaned forward in the pilot's seat of the escape pod as it hurtled silently through space. Earth now a blue marble, shrinking behind them. Ahead, Jupiter loomed like a god in slumber, its swirling storms alive with color, its great moons slowly orbiting like ancient sentinels. Beside him, Liari slept in the reclined passenger seat. She hadn't stirred in nearly an hour. Her skin shimmered dimly, shifting from soft gold to a faint, flickering violet. Even without speaking, her body told Noah everything. She was changing again, and she was running out of time. The pod's autopilot began to flash, alerts in languages Noah couldn't read. Then, the onboard voice-common female spoke in English. Approaching Ganymede. Sector 7. Destination. Gate Station. Argon. Noah stared at the looming structure ahead, half buried in Ganymede's icy terrain. It looked like an old satellite dish married to a space cathedral, all ribs and spires, and long-forgotten symbols carved into its frozen hull. According to Liari, this was one of the original Genesis gate sites, built when Valarian humans first attempted cohabitation eons ago. The station had been dormant for centuries. Until now, Noah reached over and gently shook Liari's shoulder. Hey, we're here. Her eyes fluttered open, all unfocused. Jupiter's moon. She whispered, feels heavy. You okay? She tried to sit up, but winced, pressing a hand to her stomach. Noah, she said with effort. Something's wrong. They docked the pod in the outer bay of the station. Inside, the facility had clearly been abandoned long ago, its metal walls streaked with frost, its lights flickering to life in their presence. The moment they stepped in, a gentle chime echoed through the chamber. Genesis mark detected. Access granted. The doors slid open automatically, revealing a warm inner chamber filled with alien symbols etched in glowing veins. Noah helped Liari to a medical console. It pulsed beneath her body, scanning her. A projection appeared, lines of Velari and human DNA twisting together, but something was wrong. The fusion wasn't stabilizing. The display flashed red. Liari clutched Noah's hand. The child, it's evolving too fast. My body can't contain it anymore. What does that mean? I'll die before it's born, and lest we separate the fusion ... or transfer the gestation into a stabilized host. Noah stared. Wait, you're talking about moving the baby into someone else? Yes, she said, trembling. Or something else. A pause. Then the console lit up again, and a new message appeared in English. Genesis host detected. Compatible. Noah felt his skin tingle. The mark on his palm burned faintly. He looked at Liari in disbelief. No. Liari's eyes welled with tears. It's choosing you. I'm not built for this. You're the only one who can carry it. You have the imprint. The child already recognizes you. Noah took a shaky step back, heart thudding. This is insane. I'm not a lab. I'm a kid. I don't even know how taxes work. Liari touched his face. You saved me. You didn't have to. You showed me kindness when I was just a freak in your school cafeteria. I didn't understand humanity ... until you... Noah swallowed hard. If I do this ... will it kill me? I don't know, she whispered. But if we don't try, it'll kill us both. Noah stood there, trembling, watching as the console projected the transfer procedure. It was safe ... Theoretically, the child wouldn't grow in a human womb, would integrate into a neural bioshell attached to Noah's nervous system. A living cocoon, more like symbiosis than pregnancy. You'd carry it like a second consciousness, Liari said, until it's ready to be born. The gate will know when. Noah stared at the glowing ring on the far wall. The Genesis gate. It looked inactive, silent, but he could feel it watching, waiting, and then something changed. The mark on his palm flared. The gate lit up, one glowing symbol at a time. It was waking up. The transfer process was agony. Noah screamed as the bio connected to his backspines of energy latching onto his spine and nerves. The room spun. Visions flashed in his head. A baby's laugh, echoing in a forest of crystal trees. A black armored figure, raising a blade in slow motion. Stars dying, one by one, then reborn as flowers. Liari, lying motionless on a metal slab, reaching out with one hand, and letting go, he collapsed to the floor. He awoke hours later, drenched in sweat. The chamber was quiet. He sat up and felt it. A presence, not just a weight. A mind, small, curious, ancient and new all at once. The child, it wasn't speaking in words, but it felt. It was scared, but also safe. Noah stood shakily, touching the pulsing lines now etched along his back. The bioshell glowed gently beneath his shirt. Across the chamber, Liari stirred weakly. Her glow had faded almost completely. He rushed to her, sighed. You did it, she whispered. We did it. She smiled faintly. I feel free. Noah cupped her face. You have to rest. I'll get us out of here. I'll protect both of you. Suddenly, alarms rang. The entire gate station began to rumble. Something had landed outside. Multiple impacts. A camera feed flickered on. A group of black armored soldiers disembarked from a descending Velari vessel, each bearing the crest of the High Inquiry Court. Hunters, executioners. Liari's face twisted in fear. They're here for the child. Noah stepped forward. Then they'll have to go through me. The gate pulsed behind him, reacting to his defiance. He turned. The symbols lit up. A voice spoke, not aloud, but into his mind. You are ready. The gate opened. From the other side poured light, heat, and sound. A galaxy in motion. Planets orbiting suns of silver. Rivers of stars. And standing before it all ... a council of beings. Some humanoid, some vapor, some like frozen music given form. They looked at Noah with curiosity and gravity. One stepped forward. A being of crystal and flame. You bear the child of convergence, it said. Do you wish sanctuary? Noah didn't hesitate. Yes. Then prove your worth. The gate flared. The station vanished. And Noah found himself alone in a vast chamber of mirrors, each one reflecting not his body, but his fears. His father, walking out, his classmates laughing at him. The moment he thought of abandoning Liari, the moment he almost did, the voice returned. Will you protect what you helped create, even if it costs you everything? Noah clenched his fists. Yes, even end your life. He hesitated, then looked down at the pulsing shell on his back. He remembered the feeling, the connection, the warmth of a life not yet born, and he whispered, yes. The gate exploded with energy. Back on Ganymede, the hunters were thrown backward by an invisible force. Their ship's systems died. The station's architecture reformed metal vines, wrapping around entrances, sealing everything. Noah stepped through the gate, carrying Liari, whose eyes fluttered open at the sight. They accepted us, he whispered. Above them, a massive structure hovered, neither ship nor station. It was the neutral womb, an ancient cradle of peace between species. And for now, it would be home, the child that speaks in stars inside the neutral womb. Time moved differently. Noah didn't sleep in the human sense anymore. He would rest, yes, but consciousness came in flashes, half in the real world, half in a shimmering dreamscape created by the child's growing mind. There, he drifted through memories not his own, galaxies spinning backward, ancient Velarai lullabies, the warmth of Liari's voice speaking to her unborn child through thought and song. He could feel the presence in him now more clearly, not as a burden, as a being, a soft mind, a curious mind, a powerful one. It called itself something unpronounceable in either English or Velari, but in Noah's head, it came through as a whispering concept, starborn between. The child didn't speak in words, it sent feelings, images, and one recurring vision: Earth burning, Velari fleets shattered, silence. Then a voice, Noah's own, cutting through the void. Noah snapped awake, gasping. Liari sat nearby, legs crossed, her color restored to a subtle rose gold. She looked stronger, calmer. You saw it again, didn't you? She asked softly. Noah nodded. Earth destroyed, and I don't know if it's a warning or a memory from another timeline. Liari touched his shoulder. It could be both. Genesis children don't just reshape the present, they resonate across time. Possibility folds around them. I'm not ready for this, he muttered. She leaned in. None of us are. But that child chose you. Later that dive time even passed. Here Counselor Firel, the crystalline ambassador who had first welcomed them, summoned them to the stellar hall. The chamber shimmered with stars floating in fluid stasis. It felt like being inside a galaxy's bloodstream. Noah Wallace, Firel began, the universe has taken notice of you, and not all are pleased. Let me guess, Noah said, arms folded. The Velari, not just them, Firel replied. Other empires fear imbalance. Some view Genesis children as blasphemy. Others see them as weapons. Then they're all wrong, Noah said. This child isn't a weapon, perhaps, but perception is power. Another hologram appeared, this time, Earth. Multiple ships entering orbit. Some human-made, others ... not. Liari stepped forward. They've found Earth. They're coming for Noah. Firel nodded. And the child? Noah stared at the planet. Home. The place where all of this had started. Where he'd taken an alien girl to prom as a joke. Now, aliens were coming for his unborn child. His voice was steady. I'm going back. Liari's eyes widened. You'll be killed. Maybe, he said. But Earth doesn't know what's coming. They think this is just another alien incident. They're not ready for war. Firel raised a hand. You would go alone. I don't need an army, Noah said. I just need a signal. They gave him one. A portable Genesis beacon, ancient, older than Earth's moon. It pulsed with a mark embedded in his palm. The child responded to it with calm, steady light. This will amplify your voice, Firel said. But be warned, when you activate it, all eyes will turn to you. Good, Noah said. Let them see. They gave him a small shuttle, and coordinates to re-enter Earth's atmosphere without drawing immediate fire. Still, by the time he crossed the upper stratosphere, every major radar system lit up, missiles locked, fighter jets scrambled. But just before impact, Noah activated the beacon. And Earth stopped. He landed in a desert, Nevada maybe. Soldiers surrounded him within minutes. Helicopters roared above. Spotlights blinded him. He raised both hands. I'm not here to fight. A woman stepped forward, wearing the insignia of Earth Unified Defense Command, gray uniform, cold eyes. Who are you? She asked. Noah glanced at the soldiers. Noah Wallace. I'm 20 years old. I got kicked out of chemistry class twice, and I'm carrying a child that might decide the fate of 2 galaxies. Silence. Then, laughter from the soldiers. But it didn't last long, because the beacon pulsed agnant every device in a 10-mile radius short-circuited dot. Then it happened. A voice rang out, not spoken, but heard in every mind. Young, innocent, alien. I am not war, I am not a threat, but I will defend my father. Noah staggered. The beacon dimmed. The woman's eyes widened. Did that come from you? Noah looked her dead in the eyes. It came from us. They took him into a bunker. Doctors scanned him. Scientists asked 1,000 questions. Politicians watched from behind mirrored glass. Noah didn't flinch. He told them everything. From the dance to the transformation. From Liari's exile to the visions of Earth's destruction. Some believed, some didn't. But when he showed them the beacon's resonance, map-an energy, field wrapped around Earth like a living shield, they had no choice. The child was no longer just part of him, it was tied to the planet. Meanwhile, in the outer system, the Valari Armada moved dozens of ships. One massive vessel, the Scepter of Trial at the front. It carried the Arbiter, an ancient judge of Velari law, whose sole purpose was to determine whether Genesis events should be nullified, meaning wiped out completely. Liari intercepted a transmission from them. The hybrid is not a being, it is a breach, it must be erased. Back on Earth, Noah stood before the Unified Council, Earth's emergency assembly of leaders and defense authorities. I'm not asking for war, he said. I'm asking for choice. The child inside. It's not a monster. It's a bridge. It sees possible futures. It wants peace. One diplomat leaned forward. And if peace fails, then let me be the one they target, Noah said. Not Earth. Not my people. The silence that followed was heavy. Then the council leader stood. You'll speak for Earth then? You'll represent humanity in what comes next? Noah nodded. Slowly. I never signed up for this. But yeah, I will. That night, alone in the observation dome, Noah sat on a bench, looking up at the stars. Liari's voice came through the communication ring around his wrist. Do you miss it? She asked. He smiled. Which part? Earth, or being normal? She laughed softly. Both. I think I was never meant to be normal, he said. But Earth, yeah, I miss it already. A pause. Can you feel the child? She asked. He placed a hand on his chest. A warmth pulsed back. I think it's dreaming. Of what? I don't know, he said. But it's not afraid. Suddenly, the sky tore open. A rift in space appeared above Earth, silent, pulsing. The Scepter of Trial entered real space. Cities across Earth lost power. Animals went quiet. The world held its breath. And from the clouds descended the Arbiter. 7 feet tall, cloaked in velvet shadows. A voice like thunder dipped in ice. It didn't ask permission, it arrived. End of Part 5, word count. Approximately 1,985 words. Let me know when you're ready for Part 6, the final part, where the fate of Earth, the child, and 2 civilizations will be decided. Expect emotion, sacrifice, truth, and a powerful, complete ending. You said. No, write Part 6, and Part 6 will be maximum 2,000 words. ChatGPT said. Title. I took an alien to prom. As a joke now, she says, it's my baby. HFY Sci-Fi Part 6. The day the child chose, max approximately 2,000 words. The final act. Resolution. Sacrifice. And a powerful ending. The Arbiter hovered just above the Earth's crust. No wings, no tech, no sound. Just sheer gravity-defying presences, though space itself obeyed its will. Its voice wasn't heard by ears, it entered minds. You are in violation of the Convergence Accord. The Genesis child shall be nullified. The breach ends now. Across Earth, people dropped to their knees, holding their heads in agony. The air felt like it was being compressed, crushed by unseen pressure. Noah stood at the center of a military airfield near the Nevada bunker, alone, unarmed. But not UNSHIELDED. The child within him stirred, warm and silent, like the calm inside. A supernova. I'm not letting you take it, Noah whispered. The Arbiter's gaze locked onto him. You are its host. You may yet live. If the child is severed, Noah's heart thundered. You don't understand what this child is. It's not just part Valari, or part human. It's new. It's life where none should be possible. A pause. Then the Arbiter responded. Exactly. And that is why it must die. From above, the Valari scepter shifted its cannons, aligning with Earth's surface. Humanity's defense systems were already scrambled by the Genesis resonance. Earth was unarmed, unprepared, and the countdown had begun. Noah looked up at the sky, then to the soldiers and scientists nearby, who had no idea what to do next. Some were crying, some whispering prayers, others just staring in shock. He closed his eyes. "Can you hear me?" he whispered inside his head. The child responded instantly. A feeling, sadness, determination, a question. "Must I die?" Noah's heart broke. "No, but we have to show them why you shouldn't." In orbit, Liari sat aboard a borrowed neutral womb shuttle, tears streaming down her face. She could feel the child's emotional waves even from here. "Noah," she whispered. The voice of Counselor Firel came through her ship's intercom. "We cannot intervene without consensus. This is your world's trial. Its decision." Liari stood slowly. "Then we make our own." She rerouted the shuttle's focus beam and pointed it not at the Arbiter, but at Noah, on the field. Noah was lifted from the ground by a pillar of soft light. His eyes glowed. The Genesis beacon pulsed like a second sun, and then the child spoke. This time, not just in thoughts, not just to Noah, but to everyone, across Earth, across the Valari fleet, across listening satellites and stations. The child's voice rang out. "I am not your mistake. I am your chance. I am born from kindness, from dance, from two species who feared each other but touched anyway." Visions filled the sky. Holographic projections beamed from the Genesis field. Noah offering Liari his hand at Prom. Liari standing in a school hallway, scared, alone, glowing faintly. Their escape, their fight, their hope. The choice to protect life. The Arbiter trembled not visibly, but Noah felt it. Emotion, the one thing the Arbiter had denied itself for millennia. "You speak in poetry," the Arbiter said coldly. "That is not logic. It is not law." Noah answered now, his voice amplified by the child within. "You follow rules written before this child ever existed. What's the point of law if it can't evolve?" The Arbiter lifted a single hand. A beam of null energy crackled above. Its palm, pure erasure. No explosion, just silence. Noah braced himself. The child's presence folded around him, shielding his mind, whispering, "I am ready." But just before the beam fired, someone stepped forward. Not a warrior, not a leader, just a woman. One of the scientists. From the bunker, human, fragile. She walked toward Noah and stood beside him. Then another came, a soldier. Then another, a pilot, a child. Then hundreds, then thousands, marching toward Noah. The Arbiter faltered. "What is this?" Noah smiled grimly. "It's called humanity. We don't always agree, but when it matters, we stand for life." The Arbiter's hand lowered. The energy beam crackled, then faded. Above, the Valari fleet received a command. "Stand down." One ship refused. A rogue commander fired a cannon at Earth, but the Genesis beacon reacted instinctively, redirecting the blast harmlessly into space, dispersing the energy like petals on wind. Earth didn't fire back. It didn't need to. The war ended without a shot. Later, in the neutral womb's central chamber, Liari and Noah stood together, hands clasped, watching as the cocoon detaching from Noah's back slowly opened. Inside was not a baby in the traditional sense. It was a being of radiant form, genderless, translucent, barely corporeal, eyes like galaxies, a soft, curious hum in the air. The child stepped forward, not walking, gliding. It looked at Liari, then at Noah, then at its own hands. "I choose peace," it said, and the light around them flared, spreading through the station, across Ganymede, back to Earth, through the Valari fleets, and beyond. A message, a beginning. 1 year later, the Earth-Valari Accord was signed, official recognition of the child's existence and rights as a sentient being. Schools taught the story of how it began, not in war, but in a high school gymnasium during a clumsy dance. A child born of an awkward joke, a boy who said yes to someone sitting alone, and a life that changed everything. Noah now lived on a neutral moon colony near Saturn, peaceful, beautiful. He taught xenolinguistics to human and Valari children alike. Liari worked as a bridge between councils, teaching empathy in politics, and the child, now known simply as Kiran, traveled between worlds, listening, learning, healing. They were neither God nor weapon. They were a reminder that kindness is a Genesis. Final line, and every year, on the night of the Earth Valari Festival, Noah would smile as the stars pulsed above and whisper to the sky, "I took an alien to prom as a joke, but the universe took us seriously." The end.